Let's just do what you want.
Good morning, YouTube. My name is Will. This is Enzo, and if you've been following me on Instagram, you will know that this is Lotus. So, this is my first video in like over 2 weeks, and there are some good reasons for that, most of which, as you can imagine, resolve around that little one. He's been taking up a lot of my time. That, along with some days where I didn't feel that well, some allergies and different things, some work stuff, and the fact that the Evo is still MIA. Kind of just the perfect storm of, we'll just take a little break for now. But today, see what I mean? Great. So I'm getting ready to leave, and now he's all wet again. That's the other thing. It's rained constantly the last couple weeks. I kid you not, out of the 14 odd days, it's probably rained like 10 of them. It's ridiculous. Anyways, today I do have to take the Focus to get its service done, which is going to be an oil change, tire rotation, and probably going to have to check this tire. It's looking a little low. Aside from that, as far as the Evo goes, it will be back probably this weekend. If not, then the first of this week. I do have some interesting stuff coming with that. I don't really have a whole lot of the details worked out yet, and it's not written in stone, but there could be some interesting content. Regardless, though, I am going to start fixing some of the small things right away. The car hasn't driven in a couple years, but there are some things that I already know it needs. One is I got to get the new wheels and tires on it, which I'm really? Did you actually get hurt? Okay. All right. Come on. Microphone. Are you okay? Come on, Lotus. Come on. Lotus. Lotus, come. Oh, that's a good boy. Gets treat. Get treat. Oh, that's a good boy. You alright, buddy? Okay, Lotus is alright. I think he was more scared than anything. It was his front right paw. I felt around. He didn't make any type of sudden movements or whines in any particular spot, and then he was off and running around again. He actually has a vet appointment here in a few hours, so I didn't feel any, he didn't make any noise or show any discomfort when I was feeling it, so I'm not going to worry about it right now since we're going in. It's the type of stuff I've been dealing with the last couple weeks. Enzo, I think we're finding out, was definitely on the high end of the spectrum when it comes to ease of being a puppy. Lotus is definitely much more of a chew on anything that is present and will quickly get bored and find something else. Enzo never really did that. I will say, when we had Enzo as a puppy, we pretty much lived in the living room, so it was a really small area, whereas right now we spend a lot of time downstairs. There's a lot more stuff for Lotus to find. I still think Enzo would have been completely different even downstairs, but I do give Lotus a little bit of a benefit to that point. I've got a video coming where we went and got him and everything. It was all kind of spur of the moment, and I'll explain that in that video if you guys are interested. It's not going to have any car content or anything other than, you know, we took a road trip in the ST basically. So if you like the dogs and want to know more about Lotus and how he came to be in our lives, you can watch that video, which I will have up soon. and it probably will be up after this video, though. I'll probably get this one up first. As for what I was saying, I don't really remember. I felt like I was talking about the Evo. It's going to come back this weekend, or probably this weekend. I've been talking with the owner busher. It's probably going to come back this weekend. I might even go up there. And they were waiting on some OEM parts, and those are in. Now it's just a matter of getting it done. And keep in mind, it's taken this long because I told him from the beginning, like, take your time. I'm not that worried about it. The car hasn't ran in over a year. It's not a pressing subject. It's just something I want to get done. We were talking, they may squeeze it in this weekend, at which point if they do, I'm actually may go up there and film some of it. I'm not sure yet, so we'll see. I do want to start modding it, obviously, but there are some things I have to fix first, although some of that will entail modding. It needs new struts. I don't know if they've ever been changed. I don't have any records that they were changed. They could have been. That was something I was looking to do right before it went down. So that's going to be one of my first priorities, especially with these new wheels and tires, which I suspect are going to look absolutely awful on the car on stock suspension. So the tires that are on the car, they have to go. Like, they're super old. They're just not safe at this point. Plus the tread's really low. I know I'm going to put these on and have like massive weird gaps. I don't know. I never like when people put aftermarket wheels on a car and leave the suspension stock. It never looks right, in my opinion. It looks like I don't know. If you're going to do wheels, I feel like you have to do something to the suspension to make it look better. I don't know what all that's going to entail. I know virtually nothing about suspension. It may just be new struts and like some Swift springs, or I may do like a mid-tier like coilover setup. Could get Fortune coilovers or Feel coilovers and a couple others. So I don't know. I also think it may need some spacers to look right. I'm not sure. I don't want to do any type of fender rolling, really. I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but it's just so many bad things can happen with that, so I prefer not to. I may have to. I don't know. So that's really what's going to be coming up next, and I'll talk about that stuff more once we get the Evo and get going with it. Today's video is one, like I said, I hadn't made a video in a couple weeks, so I wanted to get back into it. The Focus brought up a good opportunity because it did need this service, so the wife took the FJ today, and I've got the Focus, obviously. Yeah, I know, radar. It's cool. For those of you who don't know, we've had this Focus a little over a year. I actually wanted to do like a 1-year update, and our 1 year was in June, and I just keep forgetting, and the wife drives this car. This is her primary car, so I have to either make a special arrangement for her to not drive it one day, or do it on the evening or the weekend. We've usually got a lot of stuff going on between the pups and the wife. There's just a lot going on. I don't really want to take time to make videos unless there's actually something specific happening. Those of you who don't know, prior to this car, we had an Evo X MR. It was 2014, so it was the last year with the Recaro, second to last year they made them in the US anyways. Thank you, radar. Recently, I've been reflecting on, was it a good decision? And I still think it was. In an earlier video, I said the primary driver was money, which it was.
Construction on road ahead.
Thanks, Waze. Between insurance and running cost and car payment itself, this car is saving us at least $300 to $400 a month over what the Evo was. So that is not nothing. And considering you're driving a brand new car with a warranty, you don't have to worry about it. The other thing, too, is I think my issue with the Evo X is, even though it was an Evo, my heart was never really in that car. And I don't think the wife's heart was really in it either. The reason we bought that car when we did was because a tree had fallen on the Civic. So we didn't have a choice. We had to buy a car. Prior to that, we had the ISF, and we sold that to just free up cash. We had like 4 or 5 cars at the time. We just didn't need it. We had the Civic. We had bought in the house, and we wanted to do some stuff to the house, so we were like, you know, let's get rid of some of these cars. There were some things specifically she wanted to do to the house that were going to take so long to do. However, if we didn't have her car payment, we could do them much sooner, and she at the time would have rather had the things to the house, so I sold the ISF. Little did I know that a couple months later, a tree was going to fall on the Civic. So, I mean, our heart was never really in the Evo, I think. I didn't see us owning it that long. It really came down to either the wife was going to drive this for a longer period of time, which there were some things that she didn't love about it. Some things that I think I could have fixed, but then you're putting more money into the car. Then there was always the option of, well, we start putting more money into it, do some mods, and we could always get her a new car and I could keep that as more my daily. But I didn't really want that as a daily myself. It just, neither one of our hearts were in it. It was easy to let go, and that's the thing. Well, I was worried. So I was going to stop at Starbucks, but after the whole Lotus incident, I'm lucky to even be getting here on time. My appointment's at 11, and it is 10:54. So, not a whole lot of extra time. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's new. I've never had such a line, and I have an appointment. So normally when I do these with the Focus, you know, I've got my laptop with me. I plan on doing some work. I'm usually in and out of here in under an hour for sure. Usually more like 40 minutes. I'm not even sure how long I'm going to get through this line. This could be interesting. The thing is, I had to put Lotus in his crate. We're still working on the crate training. That was the biggest thing too. We're struggling with the crate training. It's getting much better. Like, we're so close now. It's amazing. Like, he just goes in there and goes to sleep at night. He struggled a lot with that, and to the point where he was doing anything he could to get out of it, and almost, I didn't see it, but basically got his neck stuck to where he could have killed himself. And that fear was enough to where he didn't go in his crate unless somebody was in the house with him to keep an eye on him for really like 2 weeks. And I'm now finally at a point where I feel comfortable doing it. I do have cameras now as well. That was the other thing. So I can check on them pretty regularly. The wife can keep an eye on them as well. Not that it's necessarily going to do anything here, but we do have neighbors and stuff we could call. Obviously, Enzo's in my videos all the time. That's nothing new. He's very well trained, but Lotus he follows Enzo at best and does whatever he wants at worst right now. So it's hard to make a car video when you've got a puppy that's you can't put in a crate really and take your eye off of. Well, we are moving now, so I don't know. They had to like get some cars out of the way, so I guess, I don't know. Well, this looks better. But yeah, even still, with as good as it's going, I can't be here that long. And, you know, it's a 20-plus minute drive here and back. I can really only keep him in there a few hours at most right now. We will see how long this is going to take, and regardless, I will see you guys in a few minutes. All right, we're on our way back home, and it really is the little things in life that can make you happy. I'm not sure if this is due to the new iOS update, because I didn't drive with CarPlay on the way there to Ford, or if Ford did an update while I was there and I just didn't realize. That's right, Waze now shows up on CarPlay. Honestly, that giant screen, which is actually a pretty nice screen. Oh, I need over, so let me just stop traffic. Oh, now I'm gonna do a left turn. Huh. So that idiot decided they needed to turn right there at an intersection with a green light, 2 lanes going each way, and just stop and put on their turn signal. Like, what is wrong with people? Why would you think that's okay? Anyways, though, I'm still happy because otherwise this giant screen here just does nothing all the time. It just seemed like such a waste. Now I can actually like put my phone down if I want. Oops, start stopping the Merc there. This road is just way too hectic to be vlogging right now. Radar's going off. I've got cars trying to turn right out of the left lane. There's just too much. So we'll pick this up in a bit. All right, now that we're back to the safety of the highway. So it's been a little over a year since we've had this car. I wouldn't say we love it. We don't hate it. You know, it's just, I think it's, again, it's kind of like a more of an indifferent thing. You know, our hearts, we don't have any attachment to it. It's certainly a nice car. We've been on a couple short road trips, you know, a couple hours here and there to get Lotus, a couple other random trips. I mean, it's certainly a nice car. It's got a decent amount of torque down low, so like it's very quick to get in and out of traffic. Handles nice and such. But for me to keep a car longer term, it really comes down to what are we going to do with this car, and the answer is there's nothing I want to do with it. Yeah, I know you can mod them. I've never been a fan of the front wheel drive platform, and you will never convince me of it. If you're not going to have all-wheel drive, then just have rear-wheel drive and at least have the fun of rear-wheel drive. I mean, there's nothing wrong with front-wheel drive as a car, you know, I mean, it's a fun car. However, it certainly has its limitations. And I don't see the point in doing all that effort to try to overcome those limitations when you could simply just buy a car that has proper rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Even the Civic Type R, which I've seen the videos where the torque steer is like non-existent. I mean, it's phenomenal what Honda's been able to do with that car. Still don't want one. Still don't want front-wheel drive. And it makes you wonder, like, instead of putting all that R&D into a front-wheel drive platform that doesn't have torque steer, couldn't they have just spent that money elsewhere and done something else? I mean, you spent all that time and money fixing a problem that, frankly, nobody really cared about. That text, I don't know what it says, but it definitely will have something to do with the Evo, I'm sure. Maybe a status update or something. This is not meant to be like some comprehensive review. What I will say is somebody who's owned Evos, who still owns an Evo, if you're looking for a good, solid car and you can get a good deal on one of these, absolutely. I mean, you can't go wrong. It certainly wouldn't be my choice if you're wanting to mod. Also, while it is a four-door hatchback, you would think it would have more room than, say, like the Evo X did. But it really does. I mean, the seats do fold down, obviously, which they didn't in the Evo. So, I mean, yeah, you can haul some more stuff in here. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. But as far as just using it day to day and like going and getting groceries and having more than a couple people in it, it's really not bigger than the Evo was. If anything, I don't know. I don't want to say it's smaller, but it's close, to be honest. I don't know that the hatch really has that much more room than the trunk did because this car has a full-size spare tire, so there's a super high floor line. Anyways, that's gonna pretty much cover how I feel about this car. Life is going to throw a lot of weird things at us, I'm sure, as it continues to do. That being said, right now the current plan is to not have this car much longer. We're at 18,000 miles, by the way. Anybody cares? Just realized the radio was on. Hopefully the audio wasn't picking that up. And KA, that's probably a cop somewhere. Is the plans going forward? Unofficially, I think we will get rid of this car before springtime. But you just never know. I mean, that's the plan right now. That's what I'm kind of shooting for. However, things change, so we'll see. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the car, so it's not like we need to get rid of it. It's just part of getting this car was to save cost and to make things a little bit simpler. Those priorities aren't really huge right now for us. We're past that point. Wow, people just crazy. Just cutting you off like nothing. Where are you going to go? It's nothing but a line of cars anyways. I'm having issues with people's driving abilities today and the radar and all this other stuff. I'm pushing it on the time that Lotus can be in his crate. I'm going to swing into a drive-thru, I'm sure, and get some lunch. But other than that, we're pretty much going to end it here. Although I'll probably show a little clip of when I get home. You can see how excited Lotus is. Pretty much covers what I wanted to talk about with the Focus, which is I've had it a little over a year. It's okay. We don't hate it. We don't love it. And we probably won't have it that much longer. That pretty much sums it up. Guess I really didn't need this whole video. Appreciate you following. I know I've been terrible lately about YouTube. I've pretty much just been ignoring all of it. Not really ignoring it, but just been so busy. I haven't been staying up on the questions or comments or any of that stuff. So I will get to those right when I get home. Once I get everything settled with the pups, they need to eat lunch, everything. So that's a whole ordeal, and then go for a walk. So then it may be a couple hours. Appreciate you guys watching. As always, please subscribe, questions and comments if you have them, and you guys have a pleasant day. Hi guys. Well, hi. Hi, yeah. I know. It's okay, I'm back. Hi. How's your paw? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, hi, Enzo. Wow. Man, if I have to go to the doctor soon, they're gonna think I'm cutting myself. Oh. There's another Chewy box. Like we didn't already have 2 big ones in there from yesterday. Come on, Lotus. Enzo. Lotus obviously isn't trained, which I mentioned. But Enzo is, and Lotus pretty much just wants to follow him all the time. Oh, thank you. Enzo, come on. See what I mean? Like I said before though, if you like the videos, please subscribe. Like if that's your thing, comment below, and be on the lookout for the video on Lotus if you like that sort of stuff. And I still haven't read the full text, but yeah, it definitely was about the Evo, so it does look like things are on pace. So hopefully this weekend. Other than that, you guys have an amazing day, and I'm going to try to wash the Focus because it is a freaking mess. I think the wife went off-roading or something. I don't know. The inside is clean, though. I did clean it. Well, other than the little bit there from just now. All right. See you guys later. You guys want to say bye? Say bye, Enzo. Oh, don't eat the mic. We're going to have to work on that.
It's me and you, both speeding, my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna face it, cause it only does this with you.